Hello and welcome. I'm Angela from Stamping Beauty in Christchurch, New Zealand, and today I'm going to be creating this card. This is a card I made for the Stampin' Fancy Friday challenge this month, and our theme was something blue. So I've just started with a basic white card base, which I've got here, and a layering panel, which I've gone ahead and embossed using the cross-hatched embossing folder. So I'm just going to add dimensionals to the back of that. Just get a nice spread of those across the back. Just use some half ones to fill up some of those gaps. Those backs off, and just want to get that nice and evenly placed on that card front. Then I want to create all these pieces here, so I have gone ahead and stamped and die cut some of them, but I'll just do the last few so you can see what I've done. So I've got 2 of these pieces and 2 of those, so they are these dies here. And I've just got a piece of basic white cardstock. Just need to those on so I can get them both on. And with dies that are a little bit more intricate, just put that over there, I tend to go through twice just to make sure get a really nice cut through those. Just want to be careful pulling them out because they are fine. So there's that one there, and this one here. Just use my take your pick tool to poke that out. So I have 2 of those now and 2 of those other pieces. I'll just set those aside, and I'll come back to using this once I've done some stamping. So what I did, so I went through and I popped a wee label so I knew which ones I was doing. So the first one I'm doing is C, which is this one here. So I've got both of those stamps, and I've gone ahead and done 2 of them, so I'll just do the third one, and I'm using boho blue. I love this colour, and I'm using this foam pad because these are photopolymer stamps, and I just want to stamp that, and then I'm going to stamp it off because I want it to be lighter. So for the background one it's just going to be a bit lighter, and then this one is full strength, so I'm just going to go on and stamp that, and then you can see that little piece in the middle that lines up with that. So if you just bring that over, and then you can sort of see where bits are, and don't worry too much if it doesn't line up, just do the best you can. So I will die cut that shortly, and then I want to go on to my next one, which is this one here, and this one is the one I've labelled down here as D. So again, I want 3 of those. I've gone ahead and done 2 of those. So I've had to use every one of my blocks So I'm just going to stamp that on there. So some of them aren't quite suitable for the size, but make things work. So that one there, I want to line up the dots in the middle. Just take it off out of camera just so I can line it up properly. It's just hard to do when the camera's in the way, so I've just lined that up and stamped that. And then I've got the die, so I'll set that aside to do that shortly. Then we have, what's the next one? This little one here, which is this one here, which is E. So same thing, I'm going to stamp that on there. Oopsie, upside down. Stamp that on there, and then you can see it's got that little wee thing in the middle, and that's got that wee thing in the middle. So I just want to line that up over that, and then set that aside to die cut. Keep them all together, so otherwise I'm going to get myself in quite the middle. And then take that off there. The last one we want is the one here, F. So just grab another block and cardstock. So once again, stamp that onto there, and it just makes it easier to see through when you have stamped it off. Hopefully I can line that up like that, and I've got the die for that, so I'll set that aside and I'll get that out of the way. That's the last of the blue. And then I've got 3 of these leaf images, so I've gone ahead and done 2. So I just want 1, and I'm using soft sea foam. It's a lovely, this is a beautiful green, it's really subtle. And I've got a die for that too. So now, all those out of the way, I'm just going to die cut all these images. Just bring in my mini die cutting machine. So just pop that on there, get that nicely lined up. You can use tape or a bit of post-it note if you prefer. I tend to wing it, hope that I've got it in a good place. And thankfully that has turned out okay. That's one of them. And I tend only to do, when I'm going around something, just do one at a time so that I don't risk them moving and then having to go to the trouble of stamping it again. That's that one done. So it is a little time consuming doing the die cutting, but it doesn't take too long, and when you're doing several of one, you do get in a bit of a rhythm. You know which way round it goes. You know the die goes on the stamp. And just 2 more to go. this would look, you know, you could do this if you're sort of that monochromatic look-ish. Do it all in pinks or mauves, any sort of colour that you particularly like. I love blues, and this boho blue is my favourite. That's about right. It's not, doesn't have to be totally perfect. Nobody's going to point it out that you've haven't quite got it exact, I'm sure. Right, so that is the die cutting. Then I'm going to bring back my card, and I've got this here. You could, if you wanted, grab something circular, something a bit bigger, and what's quite a good idea is just maybe pop some, you know, pencil marks just here, there and everywhere. It's going to be well covered anyway. That's probably about the sort of size. Let's see, managed to get a bit of, it's probably going to be covered there anyway, so it won't matter too much. Right, so now what I'm going to do is start working around that. It's quite good to start, probably just pop the 3 of these around, and I'm just going to put one dimensional in the middle of the back of each of those. So that means when I start popping other elements in, I can just poke them in and around. So I'm just going to pop that. And luckily I do have this one, so I can use it as a bit of a guide, but about there. And then about here. The thing is too, when you're recreating something, quite often they end up looking a little bit different, but that's the beauty of it, isn't it? And then the same with these ones, just pop it in the middle. And then if you are poking something in underneath, if it is a little bit too long, you can always just chop a little bit off. And that one is going to sort of tuck in about there. This one tuck in about here. And this one here, tuck in just there. And then I've got these. These are cute, these little flowers. So just, might even just put a little half one in the middle of those. Half dimensionals, they come in very handy. So that one's going to go sort of across there. Sort of fills in a bit of a gap. Here. These aren't going to be seen, but it's good, always good to just get it filled up anyway. And then the leaves. So that one here is going to come down there, and that doesn't need to be that long. So I'll just give that a bit of a chop off. Let's see how that looks. That's right. So just pop half a dimensional on the bottom of that. I don't like things stuck down totally either. It's nice to see these are just sort of floating. Tuck that in there. And this one here, that's going to be chopped off as well. It's going to tuck in there. So I'll just put half on there. And then this one here, pop that, it's going to come out there. So you can just chop that in a bit, and just, I might just pop that on there. Tuck that in like that. I want it having two, that one comes off quite a lot, so it probably won't fit in an envelope, but if I bring them in a little bit they will. And then we've got these pieces here. So I could have laid these down first, but just do that same thing and just poke them in, because there is plenty of room in there. And what I do with that is just get some glue, pop it on a bit of scrap, and then just pop it into that, and then carefully sort of tuck it in there. And this piece here is going to go in under there, so do the same thing, just pull that. Cut that bit off. Tuck that in there. And these longer bits here, they can be nipped off there. Actually, it's not going to sit in there so well. So what I might do is just gently lift up that dimensional, and then just pop it in under there. See, just tuck that in. And then pop that back on top. It's just going to, that will keep that down there. And then lastly, I've got one more of those, which, oh, here it is. Do the same thing, snip it off there, dunk it in that glue, and then pop it, just tuck it under there. For all intents and purposes, that is just about done. It is going to be a bit wild. I might even just be able to nip that off. It's not hanging over too much, just a little bit. And then I want to create the bow. So I've got this lovely shimmery ribbon. What I'm going to do, just so I find when it's been cut lengthways, it just makes it a little bit softer and easier to tie. So I'm just going to, just creates a little bit more movement on the card as well. I'm just going to cut straight up the middle. Just be careful, don't cut your fingers. And it doesn't need to be even either, because that won't be so noticeable once you've tied the bow. Maybe an easier way of doing it. Oh, that's working pretty well. See, it wasn't until I said that. Right, there we go. And then you just want to take those pieces and then tie your bow. And then you can just play around with that, getting the length of the loops to what you'd like, and then you can get them on your card and sit them down. often just to make sure they're similar length. Pop them through on one finger and pull down. I always faff with these, I don't know, they take a bit. So that's going to sit there. So I just need to get a glue dot, and you can always play around with it once you've got your sentiment on there too. Put that glue dot down. So this probably wouldn't go through the mail anyway. You'd have to put some padding on it too to make sure it didn't get damaged. So just trim that off. And trim it off here. And then it's just a matter of doing the sentiment. So I've got birthday blooms for you here and a little piece of the boho blue to coordinate, and just need my kit. So just need to give that a little bit of a wipe. And my I've got white embossing powder here. See. Put some more in my drawer, my little pack, so I can. So it doesn't need to be perfectly placed because I'm going to fussy cut that. So I'm just going to pick that up. Just run that over that. A bit of a blow to get rid of any excess, and I'm just going to heat set this, so it won't be a moment. If you don't like fussy cutting, just I'm sure you can find a little die or punch that will work, or choose a sentiment that you can just square off if you like with your trimmer. Don't have to be too, I just sort of do a few curvy bits and pieces, and then that's about it. And that's it. So then I want to pop that over here. Now that's quite high, that knot. So what I'm going to do is cut some of these in half, because I don't want to, it's just going to sit. So what I'm going to do is place half there, take the back off, put another half on top of it. So I think I'm going to need about 3 high to get that to go past that knot. Hopefully one more will do it. Then I'm just going to sit this on top here. That should be right. Then I'm going to put these gorgeous little iridescent pearls on. quite a few of these, just to, I think they just tie in with the ribbon and look pretty. And then I've popped them. Oh, I've missed my other, I'll just put one down here. I've missed these little flowers in my haste. I've got these little ones here, so I'll just pop dimensional on the back of those. That one's going to sit right on there. Oh, that makes a little bit of a difference. And then this one, sit that there. And then this one here, it's not really going to be, oh, I might just pop it there actually. And then they have got just a little pearl in the middle. So, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I usually try and keep them in 3s. Maybe I might pop another one there. And that is my card finished. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you do make one of these cards, please tag me. I always love seeing what everyone makes, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye for now.